Hello, kittens. Let's realize one more thing. Go to the rock spawn branch and temporarily replace the timer block with on in it. This means that at the start, only one asteroid will spawn, and that's it. Now, let's run the game and observe the asteroid. Here it flies across the screen, then it goes beyond the screen boundaries, and what do you think happens next? Well, nothing happens. The asteroid just continues flying into infinity. And I want to fix that. But let's not destroy the asteroids that cross the screen boundary. Let's do this instead. If an asteroid crosses the top boundary, it will teleport to the bottom boundary. And if it crosses the right boundary, it will teleport to the left side. The direction of movement remains unchanged. Go to the rock move branch. Let's track the crossing of the left boundary. For this, we need the x-axis. The value on the left boundary, along the x-axis is 0. So, if the asteroid's coordinate on the x-axis is less than 0, it should teleport to a coordinate of 1.5 along the x-axis. To compare numerical values, we use a gate block. To the first input, attach the getObjectLocation block. Isolate the x-axis from it using the separate block. Connect a float block to the second input and leave its value at 0. Choose the less comparison operator. Now, when this condition is triggered, we need to move the ship to the opposite screen boundary along the x-axis. Take the setObjectLocation block. Leave the coordinates for the y and z axis unchanged. Get them using the getObjectLocation block. Split the axes into separate channels using the separate block and immediately assemble all axes into an array using the vector block. Connect y and z without changes, but for the x-axis, enter a fixed value, 1.5. Copy this group of blocks and place it below. Connect them in parallel to the same transform block. Here we will check the crossing of the right boundary. So change the comparison operator to greater. And change the value in the float block to 1.5. Also change the value in the vector block for the x-axis to 0. Again, copy this group of blocks. Place them below and connect them in parallel to the same output. Now we will check for intersection with the bottom boundary. Change the checked axis to y. Also change the comparison operator to less. Set the float block to 0. In the axis, connect x and disconnect y. In the y field, enter the value of 1. This is the height of our screen. Copy this group of blocks one last time. Place them below and connect them in parallel to the same output again. Change the comparison operator to greater. Compare the coordinates with 1 and teleport the object to 0. To make the asteroid fly faster, you can temporarily change the value here. Run the game. Make sure everything works. Let the asteroid fly. Check each boundary. If everything works, then you are doing great. Now, let's fix one detail. Take a closer look. When crossing the boundary, the asteroid doesn't have time to disappear completely. Since the coordinates are read from the center of the object, the asteroid only manages to hide halfway, and at that moment, we teleport it. We need to change the values so that the asteroid completely enters the screen boundary. You can check the asteroid size in the right panel on the Item tab in the Dimension section. You can divide this value in half and round it to 1500ths. This will be enough to ensure that the asteroid is completely out of sight before teleporting it. So, For the left boundary, you need to change the values in the event as follows. If x is less than minus 0.15 hundredths, then change x to 1.65 hundredths. In the second frame, if x is greater than 1.65 hundredths, then change x to minus 0.15 hundredths. For the third frame, the event sounds like this. If y is less than minus 0.15 hundredths, then change y to 1.15 hundredths. In the last frame, if y is greater than 1.15 hundredths, then change y to minus 0.15 hundredths. Let's run the game again and make sure everything is working. Crossing any of the boundaries sends the asteroid to the opposite side of the screen. Let's stop on this success and take a break. Goodbye for now. Although no, let's return the values to their original positions. In the rock spawn branch, remove the onInit block and return the onTimer block with a delay of 2 seconds. In the rock move branch, return the speed value to 1000. Now, goodbye.